Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Benjamin Dixon Show. So, right before the show started, Wall Street Journal put out an article by, and I want to get his name right, Jason Riley. Jason Riley wrote an article, and the core of the article, the premise of the article was this: that black progress was better when whites were still lynching blacks. I can't make this up. I wouldn't make it up. I'll post the link on the website and you can read it for yourself. First of all, this idea, and okay, let me give you context. What he's referring to is that economically, it seemed and it appeared as though African Americans were doing better during the time that we were being lynched. As though we should be okay. I mean, matter of fact, during slavery, I just learned that there were 27 millionaires, African American millionaires during slavery. Is that something? Should we be so happy that economically there was a handful of black people who were doing fine during slavery? Should we tout slavery now because of the black people that were millionaires? Or should we tout Jim Crow lynchings? Should we tout that period in history because more African Americans were being Are you telling us, Jason, and I want to make sure I get your name right because I don't know who you are, but I know who you are now, Jason Riley, Wall Street Journal. Are you saying that we are missing the values? Are you saying that we're missing an opportunity? Should we? I mean, I'm gonna be as absurd. I don't like dealing in absurdities, but I'm going to be as absurd as your sentiment. Could we learn more if there were more lynchings? Would we just be doing better in general? Because that's as absurd as your article, your entire premise. And he was speaking in regard to the guys on the bus singing the song about lynching. There'll never be in SAE, the University of Oklahoma fraternity. Should we go back to that time? Is that what you're trying to say? But his exact words, what he did say, he said that the problem is not the boys on the bus. Speaking of the boys in SAE, the problem is the boys in the hood. Now, I love that parallelism. I love that. I mean, it's beautifully said. It's something that that style of prose I would do. You know, it's not the boys on the block. It's the boys in that kind of thing. It was beautifully written, but idiocy, no matter how beautifully you write it, is still idiocy. And here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have with Jason, and I want to make sure that he gets this, and I'll make sure that you hear this. The problem is this: you're dealing in respectability politics, one, which we know that no matter how educated black people become, no matter how well they dress, no matter how much money they make. I mean, take a look at Dr. Henry Louis Gates out of Harvard. I mean, professor, well-renowned scholar, in his home, dressed like a professional, or at least not dressed like what you would say is a thug, gets not only the police called on him, gets harassed, but also gets arrested in his own home. Respectability politics will get you nowhere, but I don't think you really care about that, Jason. I think you really care about making a name for yourself, because Jason is a black conservative. And this is the problem that I generally have with some, not all. Nothing is ever categorical, but this is the problem that I have with black conservatives. It's because they are propped up to say things that white conservatives or white people in general just could not say. Who else could get on a nationally syndicated news publication and say something like this, that the situation for black people was better underneath lynchings and Jim Crow? Who else can get away with saying that? You know, because now we're neutralized. We can't call him a racist. We can't call him a racist because he's black. Okay, Slick move. I'm telling you, the Republican conservative ideology, they're at their best when they're engaged in propaganda. So you can't accuse him of racism because he's black. And then he gets to say all the things that they want to say. So they prop him up to say these things. Because the system is always looking for the next voice that they can prop up that's going to amen all of the system, that's going to support the system. So this Jason Riley is just another victim of the system, voluntary possibly. Maybe he just wants, he believes it. He is a victim of the system because he is being propped up to maintain the very system that is destroying people, black and white. That's what people don't realize. When I talk out against racism, it's not so much racism. And maybe we need to qualify it better because we can't call Jason racist because he's black. But the truth of the matter is he's bought into a system. My favorite clip, and I you know what? I'll just play it every single time it's relevant.
America is run by white Christian men.
A system that is going to set that up and protect that structure by any means. By any means. And so it's not so much racism as much as it is a system that is hell-bent on maintaining the power structure that has been in place since the beginning of the nation. That's the problem. So no, Jason, he's not racist. Not at all. He's not racist. What he is he is a voluntary victim of the system. That's what he is.